Hello and welcome to Exploited Crimes and Technology. My name is Opal Singleton, and we come to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer. Well, folks, I got to ask you, is it over yet? Another round of isolation? I'll tell you what, it's just starting to rattle my brain, I think, at this point. Well, I decided today, when I'm going to do this radio show, I want to talk about gratitude. And the reason I want to talk about gratitude is it is the only way to survive these kinds of hard times. I was talking to my cousin, who is also my best friend, and her and I were talking about all the things that are upside down in our lives this year. Many of you that listen to this show regularly know that this show is brought to you by Million Kids. Million Kids is a small but mighty nonprofit that is operating in Southern California. And we do a mighty work considering the fact that we don't have a whole lot of money. But nobody was ready for COVID-19, especially this small nonprofit. We always made sure that when people were donating, that we tried to get it to the work that we're doing. And so therefore, we probably aren't as prepared for this as many of those multi-million-dollar kinds of nonprofit, but we are going to make it through. It's an interesting time when you think about it. It all stopped for us on March 12th. March 12th, I made a presentation. It was over by LAX. It was a group of just amazing African-American women, probably 200 of them at least. We sold lots and lots of our books, and they were so excited to have us there. And they're always so engaging and make it feel like home. And I've spoke with them before. They're a sorority covering, I think, 10 states or something. It was a big deal, held at a big hotel there. Well, that was March 12th, and that's the day the world came to the end for Million Kids, because after that day, we were absolutely booked up as far as presentations. And that is really how we make our survive our nonprofit and make it work, is that we make presentations and we get speaker fees and we sell books and people donate. And that is how we are able to sit with parents who have kids that have sent out a naked photo, and we sit with kids who are being blackmailed or bullied or, tormented in some way. And we sit and educate grandparents even about technology. And we do all that so that we can keep our kids safe from predators. And we've been doing that now in the U.S. over 10 years, believe it or not. We serve as the training and outreach coordinator for the Riverside County Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force. So the challenge here is that all the income came to a halt one day, but the work is crazier than ever. It seems like every day I have a parent or a grandparent or somebody calling and saying, how can I get help? How can I get services? My kid is in trouble. They've sent a photo. How do I report that? And those are the kind of work that we do. Well, when it all kind of gets very difficult, you start to look around and you say to yourself, with the COVID social distancing thing, when is it ever going to end so that we can go back to normal? When will churches just be normal? Well, I'm not sure there's going to be a normal. Somebody told me this last week that COVID-19 is going to end the day the election happens. I don't know which side they're on, but they might have a point there. But it is very serious. You see people who are very sick, and you don't want to make it worse for them. And you certainly want to protect yourself. But all this isolation takes a toll. It takes a toll on businesses. I wanted to mention in here some new friends that we've made, Ed and Sherry. They own Toasted Barrel. That's an incredible restaurant, by the way, down in Corona, right off of Magnolia and the 15 highway, right just south of the 91. They are still staying open, but you can only eat on the patio, so you better call for reservations. And we have a commercial for them. But I think about people like that and trying to make it work. I guess I identify with them because we're a small nonprofit and everything matters to us. Every little piece matters. Well, Well, for the longest time, they were shut down, and they have huge overhead. That's a beautiful restaurant, and they have incredible staff that are there, and tremendous chef that does some great recipes. And they just simply couldn't open up, and then they opened up, and we did everything we could to tell you about them, and then suddenly, with an hour's notice, they say, nope, you're closing down again. And I think all that food they bought, all that inventory that they made, and they're trying to make up for weeks of closure. They've only been open less than 10 days, and boom, they get an hour's notice that they have to close again. And I look at people like that, and they're saying, well, we're gonna make it through it somehow. We'll open the patio. We need reservations, but we will be there for you. So I'm going to be there for them. If you need a wonderful night out, be sure to make reservations. It's called the Toasted Barrel, okay? But that's the kind of fortitude that makes a person a winner when everybody else is out here going, oh, poor me. And some days I'm one of them, by the way. I read a statement by Melody Beattie I thought was good. It says, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It turns problems into gifts and failures into success, the unexpected into perfect timing, and mistakes into important events. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Well, one of the things that I am grateful for is even the hard times. And I thought about this because this generation of young people really haven't seen a lot of the hard times. And it is these hard times that builds character. It also teaches you to prepare for the future. As long as everything's going wonderful, then you don't have any real character building going on. As long as everything is easy and easy to deal with, then, you find less strength of character. You have a tendency to rely on the fact that it'll always be good, regardless of what you give or don't give. But it is that hardship that teaches us gratitude because it gives us something to compare it to. And it also gives us a chance to prepare for the future. Nobody ever promised us this would all be easy. Nobody would. Now, I prefer easy myself, okay? I always tell God, I don't want to be this mature, God. Give me a break. I'm not interested in growing up. I like it when somebody else is responsible for me. But this isn't the time or the way that a person really matures. It is, in fact, the kind of time when we really need to just look around us and start to find those things that we're grateful for. I'm grateful for San Manuel Casino. Not that I go over there and win. I don't go and I don't win, but they are an amazing contributor to our community. And they have been in the past supportive of me and kids and helping us rescue kids and teach kids how to not fall prey on the internet. And so they are still open for a little while. They have some restaurants there that you can go to if you're not into gambling. That's okay. Best maybe to keep your money in your pocket. But it is a group of people who support their community. And that's really, really important. So I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for my computer guy. The name of his business is called The Computer Guy. Okay. His name is Greg. And he's great. He's out of Banning and Beaumont. I can call Greg and go, help me, I'm in trouble. And Greg comes running in whenever he can. He has some very big accounts. But I'm grateful for those people who became experts on how to make technology work. Boy, am I ever grateful today because I spent hours now training by Zoom, and they've actually taught me how to do that. Now, I miss the people. I miss the interaction. I miss the hugs. I miss the feedback. But we do have still a way to educate people and prepare for them. And so I am very grateful for them. Gratitude can literally unlock the fullness of life. This is a hard time. There's no other way to say that. No other way to say that. But I also think it's a time when we will draw closer to each other, that we will find strength in character of each other, and we will find ways to laugh with each other. My name is Opal Singleton, and this show is called Exploited Crimes and Technology. We come to you every Saturday at 3 o'clock, so thank you for joining us. I hope you'll share the show with everybody you know. We are up against that break, so stay with us, and we'll be right back.
This message is all about Million Kids, the organization that helps locate missing kids throughout Southern California and educates to keep kids safe from predators. Million Kids educates school administrators, teachers, parents, and teenagers how predators identify a potential victim and the methods they use to recruit innocent kids. BMW of Riverside is a proud supporter of Million Kids. Visit BMW of Riverside at the Adams Street exit off the 91 freeway or click bmwofriverside.com.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Hey, there are many good restaurants in the Inland Empire, but really great restaurants are hard to find. Let me tell you about the Toasted Barrel in Corona. It's a trendy, upscale steakhouse with great pasta and seafood. It's a fantastic choice for birthdays and anniversaries or just that special night out with your loved one and friends. Inland Empire magazine has awarded them Best Restaurant and Brunch for the past 3 years. The owners, Ed and Shirley, are friendly and attentive to your needs. If you're a prime rib connoisseur, this place is for you. Go ahead and try it out. The Toasted Barrel, located at 1300 El Sobrante Road in Corona. Or Google them at Toasted Barrel to make reservations. I guarantee you're going to love it. Be sure and tell Ed and Shirley that Opal sent you. It will be a night you'll never forget.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton, and we are talking about gratitude and how it can make a difference in this kind of depressing time of social distancing. It really is an interesting thing that happens to us psychologically when we're separated from each other, when we can't sit and look at each other and exchange those feelings and, touch each other and be included. It's a fascinating thing. I was thinking as I was making a list of all the things that I'm grateful for. One of them is I'm grateful for my parents, parents who believed in me, parents who had good values. Not everybody gets good parents. And by the way, not everybody gets good kids either. I just had to throw that in. Sorry. But anyway, if you have good parents, what a blessing that is. And that was true of my in-laws. I was thinking as I was preparing for the show, one of the greatest gifts we can give each other is that gift of inclusion. From the very day that I met my in-laws, they included me in their family, and I try to include others. I think how important that is, with all the protests that are going on right now and the destruction that is taking place. What everybody is seeking is inclusion. And that is really true. Quite frankly, that's the secret behind the grooming process when pimps are trying to seduce our kids into a life of sextortion or sex trafficking or commercial sex. They will give that gift of inclusion. Yeah, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to take care of you. You're part of something bigger than yourself. And we all love that sense of inclusion. And when you get all this social isolation, I honestly believe that a lot of the time that we're missing that tremendous sense of inclusion, that ability to look across the room and just smile at somebody with your eyes, give one of those knowing looks. And I would share with you that as a family, that would be one of the great things that you can do now that you're home together. Now, that may be too much inclusion for you. There's inclusion and then there's inclusion, okay? But I would share with you to kind of experiment with that interaction. Get off the cell phones and get off the laptops and get off the desktop and sit and include each other. Start to find things that you like about each other. Forget all that stuff you don't like. Trust me, the list will go on and on and on if you start down that list. But I bet if you go down the list of things you like about each other, that you will start to find that you feel better about yourself when you feel better about others. I want to take some time also when I was thinking about my parents. They raised me with old-fashioned values. I'm really kind of struggling with that right now because I have a tendency to look at the world with old-fashioned values where you don't take. There are givers in life and there are takers in life. And I hope that I'll be a giver because people who take and take and take are not happy people. There will never be enough for them to be happy. The happiness comes out of giving and including each other in that. I thought about that because one of the things my folks taught me when I see the rioting that's going on, the burning of Mercedes at a dealership up in Oakland, and the robbing and the looting and the shooting, and I think to myself, one wrong does not make two wrongs does not make one wrong right. And we really need to understand that. This is a time for us to reach out and include each other. But it's also a time for us to teach our children those old-fashioned values that we all were raised with and cherish. That if somebody's done you wrong, you rise above it. You pray for their forgiveness. You begin to step aside. But you don't let it dictate and control your life. If somebody else has done you wrong, that's their problem. They're going to have to live with it. But what we need to be able to do is look about it and say to yourself, I'm going to be a giver. I'm not going to be a taker. And I am going to include the rule of law. One of the things that I've talked about so much lately is that I am concerned when I see all the law breaking being done in the name of justice. Law breaking does not bring in justice. I am so grateful for the law enforcement in the Inland Empire. I happen to report to some of them, so I'm very, very prejudiced. I report over to Sergeant Sawyer, and I'm very proud to be able to report to someone with the highest of integrity and someone that cares deeply about your kids and your community and has put in many, many hours to build a task force. And the people on that task force are amazing people. I know them. I've known many of them for years. And when your kids are in trouble, they leave their family and their kids to go out and rescue your kids. And I am proud of that. I admit that there are bad cops in the world, but there's bad preachers too. Okay, stay away from them. There's bad, truck drivers. There's bad plumbers. There's bad lots of everything, but we don't go out and tear them apart or take away all of their money. And so I think that I'm grateful for the rule of law. I'm grateful for being born in America. When I see what is going on down in Mexico and some of these South American countries, it is just scary to realize how far the rule of law can be broken. Once you start down that slippery slope of not enforcing the rule of law, that chain of evidence, that justice, that right to a court, a right to a fair hearing, once you start to go down that slippery slope, our society will change. And I believe we're seeing the results of a lot of that. We have federal laws. We can't just decide we're going to follow this federal law, but not that one. We have laws. If the laws aren't right, then change the laws and let people vote on it. It is America, and it is called democracy. But I'm very grateful for our local police departments, the Riverside County Human Trafficking Task Force, the San Bernardino County Task Force. They're great people over there. I'm friends with Sheriff Chad Bianco is doing a great job. Rancho Cucamonga Police Department. We've had them on our radio show. I'm going to have Chief Green from Fontana on before too long. He's doing a bang-up job out in Fontana. Well, I only met him once, but I research all the cases of sex trafficking, sextortion, social media exploitation, child pornography. They've now changed that as child something. They call it CSAM now. Nobody likes to hear the word child pornography, but you have a champion over there in Fontana as somebody with the internet crimes against children that are taking that on so that your children are safe. So there's a whole lot in the Inland Empire when you start to talk about, law and order and law enforcement and absolute heroes. The medical people are heroes for standing against COVID, but so are the law enforcement and the first responders and those fire department people. I am very, very grateful for each and every one of them that do what they do so that your kids can be safe from predators. I also am grateful for the court system and district attorneys, Mike Hestron over in LA, or over in Riverside. Sorry, didn't mean to say that. Anyway, and also over in San Bernardino to make sure that they get prosecuted, that the bad guy gets off the street to keep your community safe. The idea of this whole thing of letting people out early, especially sex offenders, that may happen on Proposition 57. I understand there's a ballot coming up on that. I haven't had time to look at it, but we cannot let sex offenders out early. What about the people who testified to put those guys there? So we have to stand for what is right. The bottom line for me is there is much to be grateful for. We're born in America. Is our lives tougher? Yeah. But just think about what a great opportunity it is for you, parents, especially, to spend more time with your kids and impart your values. This generation of kids are going to live in a world without borders where they're connected to millions of people they'll never meet. And they will talk to them about sexuality, spirituality, morality, and things that are the holy grail for a parent. Well, that kid's locked in a room with you now, Mom and Dad. Here's your chance. Go for it. Let's talk about leadership. Let's teach them the old-fashioned values while we still can. So this can be a time of depression. It can be. I get it. Who knows how long it's going to go on, but it can be a time of personal growth and a time to really know who we are and what we stand for. I always say every time we do what's right instead of what's easy, we build character. I don't know if I want to be this strong a character, but we're getting there. This is Opal Singleton. We'll be right back. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited, Crimes and Technology. I want to tell you about a book I wrote called Seduced, The Grooming of America's Teenagers. It's all about how predators access, groom, recruit, and exploit our young people using social media, online gaming, video chat rooms. Technology is changing at the speed of light, and we have to understand how to keep our kids safe from predators. So you can get this book by going to www.millionkids.org. It's $16. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you personally. We hope that you will order this book, educate yourself about how to keep our kids safe in this day of changing technology. Join us each Saturday for our radio show at Exploited Crimes and Technology at 3 o'clock on AM 590, The Answer. Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton, and we are talking about gratitude and how it unlocks the fullness of life. I decided to do this today because when the second round of the COVID shutdown came around, I was like, oh my gosh. How long can I go on with this? I'm still conducting a lot of Zoom presentations, and I'm very grateful for those people that are working with me, especially Children's Fund. They've just been amazing. If you know Children's Fund over in San Bernardino, they're a tremendous group of people that are allowing me to do Zoom presentations on their behalf. The same way with CASA, C-A-S-A, Coalition Against Sexual Assault out in Hemet. And I'm so grateful for that. I also want to say that several other people have really come on board and helped me and kids. And I just want to share some of them, if you don't mind. I had some neighbors way back when I first started this in 2008, 2010, I didn't have a clue what I'm doing. I probably haven't got a heck of a lot better, but God knows we tried. But I had some neighbors named Les and Susan, and he is a retired city attorney, and they are just amazing people. Both of them are battling cancer today. But I look back in those days, and I was so impressed that Les believed in me. And he went out of his way to open the doors and to people in the Bar Association. By the way, I've written an article for this month for the Riverside Lawyer magazine. And I thank you, Jackie Carey Wilson over there, for allowing me that opportunity. It is important that we train judges and attorneys and like that about trafficking. It is important that we address trafficking. Very few people want to hear about it. I was just talking to my producer at break, and he's saying, I haven't seen this article yet, but they're saying that because over in Los Angeles, they took $150 million out of that police budget. $150 million. My first thought is that'll probably raise my real estate values because all those people are going to be pouring out of LA as the crime rises over there. Maybe I'll make the price of my house go up. Who knows? Anyway, but $150 million. And one of the things that's probably going to happen is that they will then start to take away the funding for the Human Trafficking Task Force. And it is just really, really sad. Human trafficking is the fastest growing crime in America, and California is the number one state. Most of the victims are our kids, and these are our kids who get sucked in. They go online, they do a TikTok dance, and they meet up with somebody, or they go on one of those dating sites out there, Tinder, Meet Me, Plenty of Fish, My Laugh Out Loud, Scout, all those dating sites, and they fall in love. They get that fantasy relationship, and then next thing you know, poof, they're gone. And some of them actually end up being put into forced prostitution. The state of California has a law that says if you're in commercial sex and you're under 18, you are a victim of human trafficking. And that is the reason why Riverside County has two complete task forces, one out in the eastern part of the county and one here in Riverside. And San Bernardino has one also, because those are horrific crimes, and our children are the one that pay the price. And so it is important that we educate kids on how it happens. That is the work of Million Kids. Up until this crisis, I would go in, I've educated more than 400,000. Holy cow, I cannot believe that. I can't even say that with a straight face. 400,000 people, and that I met that I've got names that I knew that I can count, and many, many more on television and radio that I am unable to count. But what I do know is that kids will listen. Kids are grateful for that they understand. You see, we put our kids on the internet, and they are going to live in a world of technology. That's the facts of how it is. But very few of them understand how that technology works as far as where do naked photos go when you hit send. They think if you hit Snapchat, you're safe. That's not true. By the way, they have Snap Cash out there. Yeah, they think they can go on TikTok Thought, THOT, and make one of those grinding kind of videos, and they'll be famous and they'll be discovered. It worked for some of their stars, okay, that they follow. But all of those are ways that our kids get violated. Now, one of my observations is just how healthy our young people are. On the one hand, we are busier than ever because kids are on the internet. They are out there with unsupervised opportunity to connect to people they don't know. But my experience is once you explain it to kids that they want to stay safe on the internet and they want to be leaders for their younger brothers and sisters. It's not uncommon after we speak for a teenager to come up and go, I'm really worried about my 10-year-old sister and the stuff she's trying on that thing. And you're like, yeah, well, only a year ago that was you, but now you've had some maturity and someone's starting to explain it to them. And once they start to understand how it all works, then they soar in their desire to lead the next generation in a way that will keep everyone safe and ensure that they're not groomed or recruited into sex trafficking and social media exploitation. That is why we're making the documentary. We have started the documentary, by the way. This will be a documentary for schools. It'll be 45 minutes, and we actually flew to Virginia. And we did the first set of filming on it. It's already part in the can. They're starting to interview now the FBI and Homeland Security, and I think even Interpol. And Dr. Andy Doan, some of you know him from Temecula. He now lives in Florida, but still just an amazing individual. And so they're going to make a full-length film, and they're going to have the documentary in it, which we'll segment out. But one of the things that I see in healthy kids is gratitude. Kids who recognize their own value and are able to have confidence and belief in themselves and their worth. And that's why we talk about character. It is having that strength of character that will make you vulnerable to being exploited or being a hero that leads other people. You see, the first thing that a predator will do is start to poke around that person's ego. Are they vulnerable? Are they easily seduced? Are they unsure of themselves? Do they want someone to take care of them? Are they saying things online like, my dad's laid off, or I'm bored, or I'm staying home today because I'm sick. All of those are vulnerabilities that pedophiles watch for and predators watch for in there. It is that maturity, that sense of right and wrong that gives the teenagers the tools they need and the strength they need to stand against internet exploitation. I've been in this business a long time, and I can just look out into an audience, and it won't take me long to figure out this one's going to be easier to recruit than these people over here. And this one over here has strength of character. They have personal pride. They have discipline. They have a vision of who they are and who they want to become. And that is where the difference lies, and whether or not a young person gets recruited into exploitation in various ways. I also want to say thank you to our media marketing person, Chris Kleiss. He's not in town this week, but he does our media, and he's doing a dynamite job. Prior to that, Susie Carpenter did it, and she did it for many years, and she's an extremely talented young lady who brought you many, many good things on our social media. And Chris has picked up on it now and has started to take us into the next level of what we're doing. And I'm very, very grateful for that. I'm grateful for good neighbors, people who believe in you. I'm grateful for family that includes you, family that will be your friend, family that won't turn on you when things get tough. That is worth its weight in gold to have that kind of foundation. Right now, I think that's probably the great divider. If you have a family that you can turn to, you will be much stronger. So reach out to those kids that don't have family, or maybe have foster families or a single parent household. This is a time where they're going to be more vulnerable than ever. If you have a church, and a foster kid, help, buy them a soccer outfit, buy them a dance outfit, get them into taekwondo, support the foster families. If you have a single mother, get her a gift card so you can go out to dinner once in a while with her kid, or something that she can do to give herself time alone. And the same would be if you have a single father. My name is Opal Singleton. This show is brought to you by Million Kids. Million Kids is at millionkids.org. I hope that you will go to our Facebook page and follow us at Million Kids, or go to millionkids.org, hit that donate button and support our work. We'll be right back.
Real estate sales in the Inland Empire are really hot. Sellers and buyers recognize that these low interest rates will not last. Sean and Colleen at Caldwell Banker Armstrong Properties in Riverside are proud to sponsor this show. They are the best in the Inland Empire. They're fair, honest, creative, and they care about you and your situation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Sean and Colleen at 951-529-4066.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Hey, there are many good restaurants in the Inland Empire, but really great restaurants are hard to find. Let me tell you about the Toasted Barrel in Corona. It's a trendy, upscale steakhouse with great pasta and seafood. It's a fantastic choice for birthdays and anniversaries, or just that special night out with your loved one and friends. Inland Empire magazine has awarded them Best Restaurant and Brunch for the past 3 years. The owners, Ed and Shirley, are friendly and attentive to your needs. If you're a prime rib connoisseur, this place is for you. Go ahead and try it out. The Toasted Barrel, located at 1300 El Sobrante Road in Corona. Or Google them at Toasted Barrel to make reservations. I guarantee you're going to love it. Be sure and tell Ed and Shirley that Opal sent you. It will be a night you'll never forget.
Nothing beats the services offered by Strike a Pose in Covina. From weddings, anniversaries, pregnancies, family heritage photos, or professional headshots for business cards and publicity, Jamie and Steve will do your makeup, get the perfect lighting and pose, and edit them so you look your best. These folks are the best in the business. Go online to strikeapose.net and make an appointment today.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton, and I come to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, right here on AM 590, The Answer. You talk about one of the things I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for AM 590 and the chance to be on the air and the chance to share our message with other people, to be able to have a partner with the same values, that care about families, that want you to know the positive aspects, the good things going on in your neighborhood. And I'm very, very grateful for that partnership. I read something a while back that I thought was interesting. It says, it is not happiness that brings us gratitude, but gratitude that brings us happiness. Gratitude teaches us to appreciate the rainbow and the storm. Well, I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm not real grateful for this storm. I mean, I might be good, but I'm not that good. And I'm just like everybody else out there. I want it over. I want it to end. However, if we have to have this, there are many good things that come out of it. And I am grateful for those things. I am grateful for all the friends that I have in my life, especially right now. We can't all go out to dinner like we used to, and I miss sitting around and having that banter, that interaction. I'm grateful for people like Dave Maupin over in Redlands, and Hillside Church and Refuge Church over in Rancho Cucamonga, who've been just wonderful, wonderful friends. friends. Diane Drashand over there is just amazing, and Trish and Lords and all of the people I saw. Sue is another one that I thought of. I am grateful for the churches that are hanging in there. This is not easy. Absolutely not easy. My church hasn't opened up yet. I understand they're about to, although we're going into another round, so here we go. But I miss that, just that sense of sitting next to another person and enjoying their strength. Having said that, I'm very grateful for my close friends in my life, Jackie Morley and my cousin Jerry. And I'm very grateful for my fiance, Ken Hendershot. Many of you might know that I lost my husband 3 years ago. He lost his wife 3 years ago. And it is a unique situation. We are going to get married one of these days if we ever get over COVID, if we can find a place to assemble with more than 4 people and not a mask. Anyway, but I'm grateful for the people who have strength. Have you ever done an experiment like this where you just go and stand next to someone you admire? Don't say anything, just stand next to them and absorb their strength. Have you ever done that? I've done that in my life of somebody that I particularly admire. And there's just you almost feel an electrical charge coming off of them as you stand next to them saying, there is power in numbers. There is strength in finding the good in each other. It never is helpful to just dwell on the bad of each other. We all have had those relationships where they didn't turn out like you wanted. You find out something about somebody that you once admired, but all of that is destructive. The way that you have that sense of strength and character is to stand next to each other. It helps you understand the scheme of things, that there is a higher power, somebody out there bigger than yourself, that you can have a relationship, and it's that being able to feel the love for one another that allows you to have the love for a higher power that you cannot see. The having the strength of character with each other and coming along and finding the humor. We all have flaws. If we have to spend all day pointing out my flaws by the end of the day, I would just slink into bed. There is too much there to work with. But it is that sense of purpose that we have with each other, that sense of strength that comes from just being, even if we're only 6 feet away, being able to encounter with the eyes. I've often thought that it is an amazing gift, this idea of having the 5 senses, the touch, the feel, the taste, the sight, the feeling, all of that, and have it connect to your brain. I'm always amazed when I walk into a room and you smell cinnamon. And I remember it's been way many years ago, decades, in my case. But I remember my mom's homemade cinnamon rolls. And all I have to do is walk into a room and sniff cinnamon, and I go directly to my mom in my heart. And it is those things that you have a chance to make an impression on another human being for the rest of your life. Making cinnamon rolls might not get you any awards unless you're going to the county fair, but it will prey on your child's heart and they won't forget it, or your grandchild's heart. I'll go somewhere. My dad was a railroader. And I'll be somewhere and I hear a train and my heart always jumps a little bit. And I think of all the snowy nights. I was from the Midwest, God forbid. Anyway, all the snowy nights that he'd get up at 3 a.m. and go out there and walk the length of the train so that I could have new clothes and go to school. It is those memories that make us all who we are. And I would implore you at this time to stop. I saw a little handout that I thought was kind of cool about gratitude, scavenger hunt for kids. Find something that's unique to you. Find someone you are grateful for. Find something that makes you laugh. Find something in the night that you enjoy. Find something in the morning that you enjoy. Find a pet that you love spending time with, but don't bring them home to my house, okay? Anyway, find your favorite place to spend time alone. Have a scavenger hunt with your spouse. Have a scavenger hunt with your kids. And Look for the good in your life. See who can make the longest list on there. And that is important. I think that these are tough times, but I also think there are times where we will build character. We will look back on, as much as we carry on and complain and moan, we will look back and know that we are stronger people. We are better now because life won't always be easy in the future for our kids. And we need to share that with kids about how you prepare for those hard times and how, even though it may not be the way you want, that you can still be there for somebody else, and you will find the strength in 2 or 3 or 4. You will look back on that inclusion as being an important part of your family, as the most important gift a family can give a child. My name is Opal Singleton, and this show is called Exploited Crimes and Technology. We normally talk about human trafficking, sextortion, social media exploitation, and child pornography because that is why Million Kids exists, to keep kids safe from predators. We talk to kids who are being exploited, and we sit with parents who are really in agony as their child is hurting. And we are able to do that because of people like yourself that are willing to support our work. If there's ever a time in the history of this corporation that we need that kind of support, it is today. This has gone on now for months, and there's no end in sight. We were small when we started, and we were mighty, and we're still continuing to be mighty, but we're still getting smaller. We need our support, okay? If you're willing to support our work, you can go to Million Kids, MILLION, millionkids.org, go onto that donate button, or if you're old-fashioned, pick up that P.O. box and send us a check. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. It'll make the difference in a life. Even if it's not a large amount, everything that can will help us. We are out there. We don't have any employees, so we don't qualify for some of those grants. We are looking everywhere we can because we will survive this, we will sustain this, and we will continue to serve kids so that they don't get exploited, or if they've been exploited, we can get them assistance. We can take it to law enforcement and report that. By the way, if you know anybody that is being exploited, that reporting number is 1-888-3737-888. That number is also on Million Kids website, millionkids.org, or just go to Facebook at Million Kids. I hope this has been helpful. I want to tell you how much you mean to me. The fact that you would take the time on a Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that you would be willing to take your time to listen to us and support our work means the absolute world to us. I can't do this by myself. I'm even, struggling to do it in this environment. But we are going to survive this one way or the other, and we're going to do it because we're family. You're our family. We're all family, and we're here to keep kids safe from predators. I'd encourage you to share this show with everyone you know. You can do that by going to millionkids.org. They're all archived there. And I hope that maybe you'll share this show for next Saturday also at 3 o'clock on AM 590, The Answer. If you can support the work of Million Kids, go to millionkids.org. Give your kids a big hug. Tell them you love them. We'll see you next Saturday.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift, only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology, coming to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock on AM 590, The Answer. Hey, I want to tell you about one of my heroes, Doris Anderson. She's a realtor over at Remax Realty in Upland. Her phone number, 951-733-8899. Doris has pledged $500 from every house she closes. There's a woman who supports an important cause.